Hello, hi everyone, welcome. It's another live stream. Hopefully my audio's working for you. We had a little bit of mic confusion, but I think everything's working now. Hello, how are you? It's lovely to see you all. Who do we have here? We've got Lizzie Winchester. Wonderful to see you again. Courtney Kelly, good morning. Freddie Mercury is back. Flea Sills is here. Hooray, so good to see you. I'm going to be showing off. They were just in the other room, but I'm going to ask James to get them some lovely gloves that Flea Sills made. Christina Zeitman is here for the somber music. And Wiley Kit, hello. Freddie Mercury died. My hair magenta. Cut it to a bob length. Do I look like Thomas Sanders' sister? Wait. Do you mean the Sanders sister from Hocus Pocus? Beep, 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 beep. Oh, thank you. James Polk is here. Greetings from North Mississippi. Wonderful to see you. Hello to North Mississippi. We've got Fleecels. I'm hoping this makes my day. I had a friend tell me I charged too much for my stuff, even though she came to me and knew what I charged. That is annoying. Because I can say with great confidence, Fleecels, that your prices are extremely reasonable. Everybody, I want you to see the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fingerless gloves that Fleecels made for me. Like these gorgeous fingerless dragon scale gloves that Fleecels made and sent to me. They are beautiful, and look at how princessy they are down the arm. Like, so I'm very fussy about how gloves touch my wrists. And so these like beautifully like cover my whole forearm here. And they feel so good. So for heaven's sake, Fleecels, tell that friend, this is not easy to do. Gosh, but they're so cozy and soft and wonderful and warm and nice. So I just love them so much. Thank you so much for these gloves. Fleecels, if you want to post the link to your little Etsy store, that would be wonderful. Wiley Kid says, hi, lovely to hear your voice. Oh, good. I'm glad that you can hear me. And Lady Daff says, good morning, all. And Tomer's here. Hello to Tomer. Wonderful to see you. Reminds me of the music the Food Network played during 11. What? They look like fish scales, says Christina. What are you playing, James? Oh, good. Dragon scale ones are hard to make, says Wiley Kid. Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. They're crochet, if I am understanding correctly how they are made. I just love the feeling brushing over each other. Yes. They're so good. So how is everyone? How are you all doing? I'm working on my next culture cruise. Got a bunch of scripty stuff together for it yesterday. If you saw my previous one, it was all about this one episode of Cheers, and I'm going to be doing another Cheersy one. Turns out Cheers had a bunch of gay episodes, or at least a bunch of episodes that touched on gay stuff. And so, including one with Harvey Fierstein, who you may know as Edna Turnblatt from Hairspray on Broadway, and also, of course, Robin Williams' brother in Mrs. Doubtfire. Actually, just mentioning that reminds me of something that I need to mention in my video about Mrs. Doubtfire. Harvey, so if you've seen Mrs. Doubtfire, which I'm sure like everybody's seen Mrs. Doubtfire, right? Harvey Fierstein's the brother who is the makeup expert. And one of his conditions of being in that movie was that he couldn't just be like the gay guy who helps out the straight guy. He also had to have a partner. So he made them put a partner into that movie, which, you know, that is awesome. It's the reason that they're actually a couple instead of just Harvey being on his own. So I need to mention that in this video because Harvey was in an episode of Cheers where he played a man that Rebecca wants to date, and then he's like, you know that I'm gay, right? And she's like, oh, sure, yeah, of course I know. And then she still tries to seduce him. She still tries to make him straight. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit, and how there was sort of this thing, this trend of like, yeah, but is he real? Are gays real? Does gay really exist? People just not believing that it's a real thing and not being the default. And why Harvey Fierstein was kind of the right person to turn that around, given his history with shows like Kaja Fall and Torch Song Trilogy and that kind of stuff. John Ingle got your copy of the Queen's Vernacular. It's so fun. It is great, isn't it? I hope you're enjoying it. There's a lot of really, really, really fun stuff in there. And also some super bad stuff that does not age well at all. Like, I'm very cautious about posting screen grabs from that book. So, The Queen's Vernacular is this book from 1970-something that's full of, like, gay slang of the time. One of the problems is that I'm skeptical that any of that gay slang is actually real, that people actually use some of those terms. Like, for example, it says that coffin queen was slang for someone who was a necrophiliac, and I'm like, were there that many conversations? Were there that many necrophiliacs that they needed slang for it? So I'm not sure I buy that. But the other problem is that a lot of the terms are not very racially sensitive. So I'm cautious about posting screen grabs from the book. Like, I feel like every page I'm like, oh, that's a fun word. That's a fun term. That's fun. Oh, no. Like, you just keep bumping into these words that you're like, ooh, no. Cheers was surprisingly good about that, says Courtney Kelly. Oh, and Fleecell says, my Etsy, is it not letting you, may not let you post it. Fleecell's Wearables, Etsy. I believe that's the name of the store, right? Let me see if I can spell it right. That's the real challenge. Yeah, it's unfortunate that Cheers didn't have more gay episodes, because the ones they had were actually pretty good. They did surprisingly well for a show like that was very much like, it's very 80s. In fact, when it started, 82, it felt even more 80s. Like, it felt even more 70s. Like, just the hair on them and like the music and everything. It's just something about like early Cheers just feels very, very, very dated. But its attitude about gays, like the second episode has a really nice message about like accepting your gay kid. So like, oh wow, okay. Here we are. I'm just gonna post a Fleecills, post a link to your Etsy shop there. So hopefully that comes through. Courtney Kelly says, Harvey is one of my absolute heroes. Mine too. Like, he's just, he's so fun and funny and smart. Like, if you look at like some of the work that he's done that I wasn't even aware of until I started doing this research, obviously Torch Song Trilogy, super important, but also, I can't believe it's escaped me now. Newsies. He did the book for Newsies on Broadway and Kinky Boots, and it's just like in really unexpected places sometimes. He just seemed doing great work, and of course originating Edna Turnblad on Broadway. Moonbook says, I'm a little sad my best friend just started to serve in the army. I can meet him. Oh, that's right. Moonbook, you are in Israel, as I recall, where there's compulsory service, I think. So I know a lot of people have to do the whole military service thing. Oh, and CA, thank you very much for the tip. I really appreciate that. Oh, that's lovely, CA. Thank you. CA says, oh, no. It's not, CA is not the name of the person. It says CA, but then I look down lower and it says Mackenzie. Mackenzie, thank you for the tip. CA is, I guess, the currency? I'm not sure. It says CA, and it says, oh well, whatever. I just watched Angels in America. Good, but emotionally devastating. Oh my gosh, yeah. You want emotionally devastating. Longtime companion. I don't know why you would want to be emotionally devastated. Some people like that. It's very hard for me to watch Longtime Companion. I've got a video about it on my channel. Woof. It is about the early days of the HIV epidemic, and boy, oh boy, it will tear you apart. So if you like that kind of thing, Uh, that's available for you. Courtney says Rebecca was always an idiot on Cheers. Yeah, it's true. Not on Tailspin. Let's get our Rebecca straight. Yeah, so Rebecca, a problem character again because they bring her in as like the businesswoman who runs the bar, and I'm a little like uncomfortable about the trope of like it just feels a little bit like it's saying a woman running a business. Come on. And also like there's a lot of like body shaming that goes on with that character that I'm like, what? Why? Doesn't make sense. So I don't love how Cheers handles Rebecca. It'd be nice if they had like somebody who was more Sam's equal instead of somebody who's he's getting made fun of. But Shelley Long had to go do Troop Beverly Hills, so what can you do? Hello from France, says Laurent Retrivier. Hello, bonjour. What is it? What time is it in France? Hey Siri, what time is it in Paris? It's a romantic question. The city of... Oh, nope, just doesn't want to answer. Dinged, acknowledged me, and then just gave up. Hey Siri, what time is it in Paris? It's... Oh, that's so interesting. Siri pronounces France. He said, in Paris, France. It's 7:12 p.m. Well, good evening to you, Laurent. Good guy says, I woke up after getting to sleep after 3 months straight working. Oh, finally getting to see a live chat. Good morning, Matt. Long time no see. Hello, good guy 360. Nope, 630. 630. Oh, you're spinning around and more. Hello. Good to see you. Babel Play says, Old Gay Slang is friend of Dorothy. Of course, I do. I'm so curious about that old gay slang, like the origin of friend of Dorothy, because obviously everyone believes that it's... Most people believe that it is in reference to Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, but I've heard it said that it actually references Dorothy Parker, and that it predates... Would that predate The Wizard of Oz? I think it would. Well, it would predate the movie. No, actually, I don't think it would. Hey, Siri, when was Dorothy Parker born? If he's got this one. Parker was born in France. Oh, 1893. Okay, so yeah, Dorothy Parker would have had some acclaim by the time Wizard of Oz was a thing. But of course, Wizard of Oz didn't really turn into a queer piece of media until much later. So I can see it being in reference to Dorothy Parker, who just had a lot of queer people around her. So I don't know. Maybe it's both. Friend of Dorothy Parker? Is it The Wizard of Oz? Is it something else? Wiley Kit says, Coffin Queen is for gays who chase older men, I thought. That could be... That might make more sense. Oh, but that's not what it says in the book, unfortunately. Also, adding to the confusion, there are different versions of the Queen's vernacular. There's another one called Gay Talk that's like just a different edition, but with a different title. And so there are other editions of just Queen's vernacular. So depending on what version of the book you have, you might have different stuff inside it. This really shows you how, like, quickly that kind of language changes. Oh, yeah, Babel, that did lead to the army wasting money seeking a Dorothy. They're like, who is Dorothy? So this is apparently a true story that I think it was the army, I think it was the FBI, actually, knew that gay, like, underground gay social networks would always talk about, like, friends of Dorothy. And so they sent people undercover, like, trying to figure out who is this Dorothy figure. We've got to track down Dorothy, the ringleader. And it was just slang for a person who didn't even exist in that context. Obviously, people named Dorothy do exist. Maybe it was Dorothy's Bornak this whole time. I'm just thinking about the glass coffin and the caster, says Wiley Kit. I remember Twin Peaks, of course. Yeah, honestly, I don't feel like that's a great name for it. I know, like, people like would make fun of it as a glass coffin because, like, oh, it's where the gold guys hang out and, like, it's got glass windows. But it's actually just like a really good bar. It's got great views for one thing, with all that like the glass. You see everybody who's walking by through like the epicenter of the Castro, and like the great seats up top because there's this balcony that we called the Dangling Lanai when I lived there. There's this great seat like up like this weird spiral staircase onto a like this little area that overlooks the rest of the bar and has like a little tiny window where you could like spy on everyone who's walking by and coming out of the subway. And also on the, what is it, a West Elm or a Pier 21? Pier 21. Pier 1, right? Pier 1 Imports? Whatever. The furniture store across the street, you can see who's like coming in and out or sitting in the weird chair that it's got on the roof. Yeah, it's just like, it's the best bar. It's the best seat in the Castro. That's what I recommend. That's my recommendation for this live stream. The Twin Peaks Dangling Lanai. Oh, Damcan has been watching Murder, She Wrote. There have been 2 episodes with Robert Reed. First one, we played a flamboyant character, implied he was gay. Really? Okay, so I've seen so many Murder, She Wrotes, but you can't, like, it's really hard to watch them all. Because there's some that don't even have Jessica Fletcher. There's some that are just anthology episodes that are, where it starts with her being like, this reminds me of the time someone told me about a murder mystery somewhere else. And then the camera just goes away and we don't see Jessica Fletcher at all for the rest of the episode. Anyway, so wait, Robert Reed on Murder, She Wrote, who plays a maybe gay guy? Robert Reed, Murder, She Wrote. Definitely got to check that out. Tell me more about that episode. Oh, damn cam. Because I'm always looking for reasons to watch Murder, She Wrote. I'm so upset that it's not on Netflix anymore, though. Babel Place says, only when it referred to Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. That's what everyone says, that it refers to Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. I'm not convinced. I don't know. I would like it to be Dorothy Parker because I like that's literary and more historical. Just joined, says Mina. Hello, Mina. Good to see you again. Martin DeHill says, sup. Oh, this is so mask. Let's see. Courtney says, yay, now I can get gloves too. Yay, they're so cozy. Babel Play says, the closest they came to harming him? With Dodge make excuses every time a girl... Wait. Closest they came... Wait, what are we talking about, Babel Play? Oh, Static Shock on WB. Richie, the best friend, was gay in comics. Oh, they weren't allowed to say it on the show. I didn't know that. So he just, like, avoided flirtation with girls on the show. I didn't know that. That's amazing. Wow, the writers... Courtney Kelly says the writers really wanted to let him be gay, but Kids WB wouldn't let them. Well, I would like to think that times have changed. I mean, we've got, like, Steven Universe having a gay wedding now, for goodness sake. Hopefully things are better now. Static Shock reboot would be great, wouldn't it? With a gay friend? That would be great. Oh, Good Guy says he reworked the book for The Wiz Live. Oh, yes, he did. He did a lot of those, like, blah, blah, blah live things. I think, did he work on Grease Live? I may be thinking of something else. But yeah, Harvey did work on The Wiz Live, and I want to say some of those other, like, musicals live that they've been doing on TV. Freddie says, I suggest Love Simon the movie is an emotional roller coaster, but a happy ending. Yeah, I do like that. When it's like devastating, but happy ending. Angels in America, Mackenzie, which Mackenzie recommended, wouldn't say that it's got a happy ending. Yeah. Martin says, what's on your arms? Oh, these are, if you missed it, these are the lovely dragon scale gloves that Fleece Hills made for me. They are so cozy and comfy and soft. They're just a delight. No video available, but if you want good but devastating, The Heidi Chronicles by Wendy Wasserstein. Book, right? The Heidi... I know it's come up before. The Heidi Chronicles is a book, right? I feel like really uncultured for not knowing this. Heidi Chronicles. Yeah, because the first thing it wants to suggest is a PDF of it. 1988 play by Wendy Wasserstein. What do I know her name from other stuff too. Oh, she won the Pulitzer for the Heidi Chronicles. Okay, that's something to look into. Yeah, I don't know it as well as I ought to. Plot follows Heidi Holland from high school in 1960s to a career successful art historian 20 years later. Roles of women during the time period, art and feminism, eventual sense of betrayal during the 80s. Two important characters, Peter Petrone, a gay pediatrician who's arguably Heidi's best friend, and Scoop Rosenbaum, a magazine editor. James, a magazine editor named Scoop. We have in the past considered an alter ego for me named Scoop Whiplash, an intrepid reporter. She realizes Scoop is a very intelligent, attractive man despite his egotistical ways. The scene in which they first meet ends with a passionate kiss and night together, ambiguously imply that Heidi may have been a virgin at the time. Chemistry is insatiable. They go on to be lifelong friends. Heidi realizes that not marrying does not mean she cannot be a mother. It takes matters into her own hands. Chooses to adopt a child on her own. Oh, good for Heidi. Rewatched Singing in the Rain a few hours ago, and the only one who thinks Gene Kelly's best friend, can't quite recall his name, seems really gay in that movie. It's been a while since I watched Singing in the Rain. Who's in that? Is it Gene Kelly and oh shoot. Okay. It's Gene Kelly and oh, Gene Kelly directed it too. I didn't know that. And Debbie Reynolds, no. And Sid Charisse. Oh my God, it is a very gay film, isn't it? I'm just looking at the cast. A lot of queer icons in there. Who we got? Starring Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor, Debbie Reynolds. My goodness, Donald O'Connor. Actually, I don't know who Donald O'Connor is. For some reason, I thought it was who was the dancer from White Christmas? It's Danny Kaye. That's what I'm thinking of. For some reason, I thought Danny Kaye was in Singing in the Rain. But anyway, so seems like he has a gay friend, Mina, in Singing in the Rain. Felicia is hoping to have stuff up on the Etsy store tomorrow. Great. Christina says, I watched Longtime Companion. Wow, even as a straight married woman, it is a hard watch. Yeah, it really, really is. Oh, my goodness. Bookworm Idaho is recommending a Hulu rom-com film, The Thing About Harry. Oh, let's check that out. The Thing About Harry. Okay, I'll check that out. I don't know anything about it. So tell me, if, are you recommending it good or recommending it bad? Christina says another good film is, of course, Call Me By Your Name. Yes, of course. Hi from Sweden, says Eli, and hello, says Key W. Hello to Key and hello to... Oh, wait, Ellie. Not Eli, Ellie. Hello to Key and Ellie. Christina says they use my favorite psychedelic fur song, Love My Way, and Call Me By Your Name. Oh, lovely. Did you hear about the Navy investigation trying to find Dorothy, Ingy Bingy, yes. Dorothy Parker's heyday was the late 20s and early 30s. All right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like when she was writing for like the New Yorker and stuff like that. Have you seen the new Green Eggs and Ham show? Ellen's the executive producer, and it shows, and Sam I Am is a twink. Wait, is it live action? Or is he like a cartoon twink? What is the new Green Eggs and Ham show? Ty Deerfield? Ty? Am I saying it right? Ty Deerfield says, howdy from Dallas. Never seem to catch one of these while you're still live. Hello, I'm glad that you made it. Wonderful to see you. I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up with everybody in the chat. Wiley Kid says, I love Twin Peaks. It is the safe for your mom gay bar in the Castro. Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. It's the place where it's not going to get too loud. It's not going to get too rowdy. It's just going to be nice. And that's what I want from a gay bar. Greetings from Toronto, says Nina, longtime watcher, second time live stream watcher, first time commenter. Hello. Well, Nina, I'm so glad that you're here. Wonderful to see you. Hello to Toronto. Are you going to go see Anthony Oliveira's Dumpster Raccoon screening of, I don't think it's happened yet, of, I almost called it, it's not Robin Hood Men in Tights. It's the other Robin Hood. It's the classy Robin Hood, not the Mel Brooks Robin Hood. I'm so jealous, Nina, of you folks in Toronto who have access to Anthony's wonderful screening series. Anthony Vera, when is that? Oh, and of course, Anthony, by the way, if anybody's in New York, just announced he's going to be at FlameCon, which is also super exciting. So if you're in New York, go see him there. And Courtney says, have you seen Return to Oz? Oh boy. Return to Oz. I do recommend it. It's just so weird. Don't go in expecting experience like the original Oz movie, which isn't even really the original Oz movie. There were ones before that, but it's not like any other Oz thing ever. Ty Deerfield said, "Oh, I took a class with Vito Russo. He said it was Dorothy Parker. Really? Oh my gosh. I want to know everything about taking a class with him. Oh my gosh. Like, what a role model. It's just like devastating that he's not with us today. So Vito said it was Dorothy Parker, huh? I am really excited and delighted to hear that. And I want a source on that so I can like cite it authoritatively, not just like somebody said so. I mean, not like I question his word, but, wow. Oh my God. I love that. Tomer says, I've been watching so much Murder, She Wrote that I've been getting Google ads for chairlifts in retirement homes. Oh dear. You know what? That's just fine. For some reason, Twitter has decided that one of my interests is eggs. And so I was looking at like the list of auto-generated interests that Twitter thinks you're into. This is like months ago. And I saw it just had egg. And I'm like, what? Why? And just today or just yesterday, it served me an ad for eggs. I was like, wouldn't you like to eat an egg right now? And I'm like, oh, no, I wouldn't. But I'm glad that for some reason you think that that's what I want. Good morning, says Raphael. Glad I made it to the live. Hello, Raphael. Good to see you. Piku says it might have been the CIA that was looking for Dorothy. So now we've got Army, Navy, CIA, and I thought it was the FBI. So it's the whole apparatus of the federal government that's looking for Dorothy. Let's see. Oh, Harvey did a lot of work on Hairspray Live, says Courtney. That doesn't surprise me. Of course he did. Oh, gee, I thought my arms were injured. No, it does look a bit like a cast, doesn't it? No, it's their superpowers of keeping my arms soft and warm. That's what they're for. Look, I mean, it's so pretty. It's so gorgeous, right? I'm so happy with these gloves. James Polk is working on dance sketches for a friend before night work. Margot Fontaine, Martha Graham, Camille A. Brown. We just had a little like birdcage moment of like Martha Graham. And Ty says Critical Role's one-shot Cinderbrush, a Monster Heart story, has plays with non-binary characters who are radically different. Fun to watch, though the high school setting wasn't my thing. I have heard good things about that, about Monster Hearts, and I'm really glad that Critical Role did that one-shot. So I haven't watched it yet, but I know Monster Hearts is all about the queer high school relationship stories. So I'm really curious about what kind of nonsense they get into with that one-shot. Courtney says it's best in a 3-volume collection. The Heidi Chronicles with Uncommon Women and Others, and Isn't It Romantic? My absolute favorite play ever. I didn't know it was a 3-volume thing, just like Torch Song Trilogy. Green Eggs is beautifully 2D animated. Oh, really? $8 million per episode? Are you kidding me? Woof. Oh, the G, I'm sorry. The G is pronounced. It's like tiger without the R. Tig. Okay. Like from Buster Brown. That is not a contemporary reference at all. Buster Brown was like a comic, I want to say, in like the 50s. So anyway, he had a dog. Buster Brown had a dog named Tig. I recommend it as a good film, says Bookworm. Wait. What are we talking about? Because I think that might be a typo, or maybe not. The thong about Harry, or is it the thing about Harry? I really want to believe it's the thong about Harry. But that seems unlikely. But maybe it is the thong about Harry. Rom-com starring Grey's Anatomy. Okay, I mean, maybe it's a rom-com. New actor Nico Terho as enemies in high school turn potential romantic interest. Oh, okay. All right, so I have to look it up now because is it the thong about Harry? It is definitely the thing about Harry. Okay. But you know what? From now on, it's the thong. Last music I saw here in Toronto was Anastasia, says Nina Shuchuk. It wasn't great. It wasn't. I wasn't expecting it to be. Hoping to see Come From Away before it leaves. It broke me in all the right ways. Do you know Anastasia's now a Disney princess? With the I was listening to something. What was it? That now with like the purchase of 20th Century Fox, Disney owns Anastasia, so they own a lot of like the Don Bluth animation now, which is deeply ironic. Rather interesting. Milkshake is here. Hello. I'm in the middle of sewing some pants shorter because I'm going to a masked ball in a few hours. Very fun to have you as company. Ooh, a masked ball. Wait, are you turning the pants into a mask? Is that how short you're making them? Or are they just part of a larger costume? Steve B says, did you ever see the TV biography of Mae West? Oh, no. Wait, what is that? Starring Anne Gillian. Roddy McDowall plays a drag queen. What? I need that. Mae West. I'm writing this down. Bio with Roddy McDowall. Wasn't Roddy McDowall in Naked Civil Servant? Am I making that up? Did he play Quentin Crisp? Naked Civil Servant cast. No, it was John Hurt. How could I confuse Roddy McDowall and John Hurt? Well, that's exciting. Roddy McDowall playing a drag queen. I definitely want to see Anne Gillian playing Mae West. I mean, I just want to see Mae West, really. Aretha Franklin will be after Dorothy next. Wait, what? This is Courtney Kelly. Aretha Franklin will be after Dorothy next. Blues. Oh, gosh. Her role from Blues Brothers. Took a few jumps to understand you on that one. Without giving too much away, in The Thing About Harry, The Thong About Harry, Jake stars as Sam, an openly gay and career-driven man who crosses paths with his high school bully who recently came out as Pan. Oh, that sounds great. I do like that. Alan Hardy says, hello, Matt. First time catching you live. I'm really enjoying your videos. I make breakfast. Oh, what's for breakfast? Thank you for great content. That's lovely. Glad you could make it. Courtney says the three Wasserstein plays aren't related, just grouped together. Oh, okay. So there's sort of a, it's not exactly, what do you call it when it's not a trilogy? A trifecta, I guess? Yeah, Bookworm, I just realized I misspelled it, Thong About Harry. You know what? There you go. That's the sequel. The Thing About, or I don't know, the porn parody. It definitely sounds like the kind of movie that needs one of those. What? James just laughed at me. Buster Brown comics. Whoa, started in the early 1900s. Whoa, that's amazing. Buster Brown shoes were named after the character. Well, of course they were. I'm sure we're all familiar with the Buster Brown shoe commercial jingle from 1960-something. Does your shoe have a boy inside? What a funny place for a boy to hide. Does your shoe have a dog there too? A boy and a dog and a foot and a shoe. Well, the boy is Buster Brown. The dog is Tiger's friend. They're really just a picture. So they're fun to play pretend. So look in your telephone book for the store that sells a shoe with a picture of a boy and a dog inside you can put your foot into. I don't know why I have commercial jingles for shoes from the 1960s memorized, but I got that. I don't know anything about contemporary entertainment whatsoever, but I can sing commercial jingles from 1963. It is a catchy song, though, right? It's actually the Navy. Okay, Raphael is settling it. It's actually the Navy who spent so much time, so much money looking for Dorothy, sending spies in search of this woman who knew every gay man ever. One of my favorite gay history stories. Okay, the Navy. Why was the Navy looking for Dorothy, though? What did they want? Why the Navy, of all things? The recruiting. Oh, of course, yeah. And then they went to the Village People next. Kay says Don Bluth must not be so happy about that. You know what? As long as the check clears, I'm sure he's just fine. Oh, rather interesting. Milkshake is shortening the pants so my cool shoes aren't in. What are your cool shoes? Tell me about your cool shoes. I want to know more about those. The mask's already done for a week now, but what is the mask? Is it a mask for mask? Speaking of Harry, hot take. I like the wagon wheel coffee table when Harry met Sally. That is a hot take. It's not good. Ingy Bingy. It's hideous. That is such an ugly coffee table. KW is waiting for feature animation to get gayer. Warner Animation Group tried real hard. Yeah, did you see the thing about how like the new Pixar movie is gonna have a canonically gay character voiced by I forgot her name, Lena Headey from Game of Thrones. Okay, that's what they're saying. We'll see. What is it? I can't remember the name of the movie now. It's Roving or Yonder or something like that. And they're like, oh, it's gonna have a gay character. Sure, okay. Is she though? Or is it gonna be another one of those like, she's gay in the background and you don't know that she's gay, but we're just gonna say that she is. When I said stuff about my hair, I meant the Viner and YouTuber Thomas Sanders, who's openly gay. Wait, Thomas Sanders did something with his hair? Murder, She Wrote, Season 1, Episode 17, Footnote to a Murder. Robert Reed isn't in it that much, but he plays a fancy pants writer. In one scene, he seems particularly interested in a newspaper reporter that's interviewing him. Okay. Season 1 of Murder, She Wrote also does go to a gay bar. It's a ridiculous gay bar that no gay bar like it has ever existed in San Francisco. She goes to visit one of her 10,000 cousins on the season 1 episode of Murder, She Wrote, and it's like this super classy gay bar where like you couldn't possibly get a reservation for another 6 months. And like, when is the last time you went to a drag brunch at a bar and they're like, reservations only, please? So you have to get reservations for this terrible like bar where Gabe Kaplan is the MC and he's playing like rim shots on a drum set. But it's so classy, like everyone's in like evening gowns and there's like, that super classy thing of like tables that have tiny little lamps with lampshades with dangling crystals. So it's like that kind of a place doesn't exist, obviously. But anyway, that's season 1 of Murder, She Wrote. Murder, She Wrote, season 1, episode 7. Episode 17. I'm definitely checking that out. If I can find it. I don't even know where Murder, She Wrote is streaming nowadays. Nowadays, in these troubled modern times. Reed holds the reporter's bicep, asks him which paper he writes for, gives him the up-down look. Oh, the elevator eyes. And says it doesn't matter. It's a great scene to watch since he was in the closet his whole life. Fascinating. That is marvelous. So one of the reasons that bring this back to Harvey Fierstein is he was, as far as I can tell, I think this is correct, the first openly gay actor to play a gay main character on an American TV show. I think. And it was on a TV show that was a huge flop, a huge disaster, didn't last more than a few episodes. Daddy's Girls. Nobody remembers this show. From 1994. It was a Dudley Moore vehicle. Sure, why not? Dudley Moore plays like, I think he's a fashion designer, and he's very protective of his daughter, his adult daughter. And it's just very weird. And Harvey Fierstein plays, of course, a dressmaker, because, we gotta have that trope. But anyway, as far as I can tell, I think this is correct. I'm not 100% sure. Harvey is the first openly gay lead character, openly gay actor to play a lead. There's so many caveats here. Openly gay actor to play a gay character on American television. As a main character. So, I don't know. Maybe that's not as big of a deal because you have to like qualify with so many things. Nina suggests the Quebecois film Crazy from 2005. Don't know how well it's aged. Received a lot of acclaim here in Canada. I'm not familiar with that one. And James Sledge recommends Jennifer Slept Here, a brief-lived 80s sitcom about a family who moves into an LA house haunted by a silent film star played by Ann Gillian. Oh my goodness. Think Glamorous Alf. Just made James almost do a spit take. I'm thinking, nothing else than Glamorous Alf. What? Jennifer Slept Here. Obviously, that's a reference to the film George Washington Slept Here, 1940 something. George Washington slept here, starring what's his name? Jack Benny, of course, and Ann Sheridan. Oh my goodness, nothing at all gay about that. Written by Moss Hart and George Kaufman, who I like. Just mentioning that because I just like that movie. Ingy Bingy says, "You're ready to live in the world of Demolition Man." Wait, why? Am I? The future? Onward. That's the name of the Pixar film. Thank you. Yonder. Yeah, sure. That's close enough. Courtney Kelly says, "I'm going to come out to West Coast and buy you and James brunch." Oh, well, if you don't mind. Yes, of course. Never say no to a brunch. Kay says, "I'm recommending Promare again. Not for everyone, but if you like queer allegory, action, and bright colors, it's A++++++++. Promare." Mackenzie Fleetwood says, "Oh, this is a great question. What's your favorite very special gay episode of a TV series?" That's such a good question. I think it might be the Simpsons episode with John Waters. That's a real good one. I love that one for a bunch of reasons. For one thing, it's got an actual gay person playing a gay character. It was personally meaningful for me. Like, when it came out, I was like figuring out gay for myself, and that episode really helped. It's actually funny, which not a lot of very special episodes are. It shows you the inside of a gay bar in a very roundabout way. It shows you the inside of a gay bar in a way that is like one of the only accurate depictions of a gay bar on television. And introduces people to John Waters, which, I mean, bless their hearts, what a public service. I think it might be that one. I do like a lot about, I just did a culture cruise about the episode of Frasier with Patrick Stewart. I think that's a really good, very special gay episode. Although I wouldn't say it's a very special episode. It's not like there's crisis in that one. It's just sitcom farce. If you want to go like real full serious, very special episode, Designing Women had an episode about HIV. That definitely ticks all the very special episode boxes. Like, I think that's the one that's the most very special. Because it is a real crisis that this character is dying. Like, he's not living with HIV. Like, it's a time when the prognosis was bad. There was no prolonging things. And so it is very serious and sad. No spoilers, but the ending is sad. Of a sitcom, geez. It teaches you a lot, or at least tries to. Like, it has the characters repeating facts in a way that is not anything like how people actually talk, so it's very educational. So yeah, I think that one's the most very special. There's also a very special episode of the show Dinosaurs, the dinosaur puppet show, that lasted I think a season, maybe two. That's very allegory heavy, where Robbie the son is becomes a vegetarian, and there clearly is just a metaphor for being gay. So anyway, those are some of my favorite very specials. Also, there's an episode of Deep Space Nine. I wouldn't say it's a very special episode, but it's more of like a lesbian kiss sweeps week episode. Just a rating ploy where they have a lesbian kiss. It's pretty good. It's okay. It's not great. Could be better. It's definitely got the oh, our love is forbidden, we can never see each other again, goodbye, special guest star kind of thing of we had one gay character and that's it. And very frustrating that DS9 did not let Garrick be pansexual. Sorry, that's a completely separate rant for another time. Anyway, Rather Interesting Milkshake is making a bee mask. There's bees on it and sparkles. That's fantastic. I love that. That sounds fantastic. Very butch punk. Ugh, I love that. Eli says, "I recently started thinking about the 90s trope of two totally straight dude bros who just happen to co-parent a child and act as a couple. Episode material? Maybe. Yeah, totally straight dudes who happen to co-parent a child and act as a couple. Interesting. That's not something I have super noticed, but now that you bring it up, yeah, I guess, where it's like two actually straight men who just happen to be raising a kid together. I'm having trouble thinking of examples of that, Ellie. Tell me more about that, because I'm open to that being a thing. I'm not really thinking of examples of it. I mean, there's, what is it, Three Men and a Baby? Is that from the 90s? I think that's from the 90s. It might be the late 80s. Hey Siri, when did Three Men and a Baby come out? Of the closet. 87, yeah. Beauty and the Beast had a gay character. Oh yeah, Beauty and the Beast had a gay character too. Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm not going to say like, yay, this movie has a gay character until I actually see it. Prove it. Oh, it's Lena Waithe, not Lena Headley. I don't know the difference. What is the difference between those two people? I thought they were the same person. Lena Waithe from Master of None, Queen and Slim. Yeah, I have no idea who that is. She's in one scene that's unrelated to the plot, says Tomer. Blink and you miss it. Fantastic. Oh, Courtney Kelly brings up a good point. How many ferns were there on Murder, She Wrote? Yeah. That's, Oh, wait, it's on Amazon Prime? Really? Oh my goodness, Joshua, thank you for that tip. Ingy Bingy says, tell me you don't want to go to all those TV interpretations of gay bars. I do. Is Daddy's Girls going to get a culture cruise? No. I can say no. I will mention it on the next one. I'm working on one about Cheers and Harvey Fierstein and some other stuff. I will mention Daddy's Girls. It's not going to get its own episode. There's just not enough. There's not enough there. I'll mention it, but it doesn't get its own thing. I think. Unless there's something I don't know about it. Oh, Freddie Mercury has the Murder, She Wrote board game. Yeah, a couple of friends of mine have that as well. It's actually pretty good from what I hear. I've never played it. From what I hear, it's actually kind of good. Good Guy says there's a gay-ish episode of SpongeBob from season 2, Something Smells, a nod to realizing one's sexuality and coming out. And Raphael says, I don't know if you remember an old piano bar in Silver Lake when you lived there. It used to be the type of gay bar exactly with the lampshades included. Then they changed it. Oh, no. Do you remember the name of it? I didn't live in LA that long, so I might have missed it. Courtney Kelly's very into glamorous Alf. That sounds amazing. Fleecil says, I sent you a picture of another pair of Dragon Seagull gloves on Twitter that I'm hoping to have up later today. Oh, that's very exciting. Wait, hold on. Yes, I see your tweet. Hold on. Calling that up. George Engel and Brendan Maggart were also in Jennifer Slept Here. I'm not familiar with them. Oh my goodness, Fleecils, these are gorgeous. Gosh, what? I mean, I don't know if y'all can see this, but there they are. Beautiful turquoise and purple fingerless gloves. They are so great. Oh my gosh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work, Fleecils. They are just amazing. Raphael says it was called The Other Side. Oh, that does sound familiar. Used to love that piano bar. Everyone was welcome for performance night to bring their sheet songs and sing. Yeah, I don't think that was there when I was there. We definitely, we had a friend who would play the piano at something like that, where he would go, he played the piano, people would bring sheet music, and people would just sing stuff. I don't remember the name of that bar. It wasn't in Silver Lake. I think it was just in Hollywood. Just in Hollywood. Demolition Man, the only music that's authorized for entertainment is old commercial jingles. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Tomer and Key, it's Homer's Phobia. Probably my favorite gay episode too, says Tomer. It's so good. I have a culture cruise about that one, so you can find that on my channel. Raphael says, I love the Designing Women HIV episode. It always makes me cry. I know. It's just like, oh my God, devastating. Does anyone else feel crazy? Marina says, when they're sitting with a bunch of straight people and they bring up the existence of LGBT and the room goes silent, very out involved, and people just don't get it. That has not been my experience, in part because I don't like to see or be seen by straight people. That's not true. I just don't spend a lot of time in very straight circles, so I have not had the everyone goes silent experience. Also, whenever that happens, I just start making more noise. So anyway, that's been my experience. Dax and Khan, yes, they were very conflicted there. Yeah, the Dax and Khan episode is the one that I'm talking about in DS9. Dinosaurs was so ahead of its time, says Nina. It's often dismissed for being so weird. It is so weird. It's way more clever than a family puppet show from the early 90s had any right to be. Also starring Jessica Walter, the mom from Arrested Development. Garrick should get more than 30-something episodes. He should have been a main cast member, get 150 episodes, maybe 170-something episodes, says Roland. Yeah, I mean, I just want a spin-off about Garrick. I mean, you know, I'm sure the Picard reboot is lovely, but I want a Garrick. I just want a Garrick series. Yeah, Seal, as I understand it, there was a lot of maneuvering that had to be done, a lot of excuses made to get it past Rick Berman. I mean, the more I hear about Rick Berman, the more I'm like, oh yes, Rick Berman, the source of all Star Trek's problems. Mr. T says there's an episode of Rocco's Modern Life, Closet Clown. I remember that one, about coming out of the closet. Yeah, I remember the Closet Clown episode. Disturbing. What? James is laughing at me again.
Is there an actual clown?
Yes. My Two Dads is main TV, two straight dudes raising a kid example I can think of. Yeah, but My Two Dads was like, that was like in the 60s, right? No? 90s? What am I thinking of? My Three Sons. My Two Dads is the sequel to My Three Sons. The sons grow up and have dads of their own. That's not how that works. I can tweet the whole outfit at you. Oh, when I'm done, yes, rather interesting milkshake. I want to see it. I want to see the bee punk butch shirt outfit. Ingy Bingy says the concept of pansexual is pretty new to most people back in the days of DS9. That's true. Would have been super duper progressive even for Star Trek. I guess. I mean, pansexual people have existed forever, so, but having a pansexual character depicted in media, I suppose that would have been very fresh. Yeah, you know, the more that I think about that, it's very true, because TV certainly did not want to acknowledge that bisexuals exist. So, acknowledging that pansexuals exist, forget about it. Yeah, it's true. Like, every time there's a queer character, it's like, well, he's either gay or he's straight. No room between those two things. Bisexuals are not real, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so that's definitely been a problem on TV, still is to this day. DS9 episode is one of my favorites, says Mackenzie, even though I get it's problematic. I'm kind of biased. Also, Homer's Phobia is a masterclass of an episode. It is great. It is so well written. Steve B says, what do you think of The Boys in the Band? Still relevant or an outdated museum piece? Okay, so Courtney says, it's just revived on Broadway, still holds up, but it is a bit dated. I think the movie, so I'm just talking about the movie, not the play. I think it definitely belongs in a museum for a couple of reasons. One, there's a lot of racism that really just, like, can we please leave that in the past? Setting that aside, the way that the characters interact, there is a self-loathing and a destructiveness that I just find really hard to relate to today. With the characters talking about, like, the danger of being out in Manhattan and, you know, all the terrible things that society does to us. I'm not going to say that, like, gay people have it made now and, like, it's totally easy and gay people have nothing to worry, queer people have nothing to worry about. But the difficulties that they face in that film just doesn't make sense to audiences today. I mean, as a period piece, sure. Also, like, I don't know. I am really interested in that, in the play and in the movie, I guess, the way that the characters destroy each other because of their the damage that society has done to them, and that they've internalized this damage and they turn it back on each other. I think that's an interesting idea. But it's just really hard to relate to that damage being as a result of their homosexuality because it's so historical and, like, things have changed so much. I think it holds up as, like, as drama, but just really hard to relate to our lives today. Mr. T recommends the Rocco Netflix special, the first kids show to actually talk about coming out as transgender. No allegories or coding. I think you're right about that. Cycling, so good. It's about changing with the times. I've heard great things about that. Found it weird rewatching DS9 to see Garrickless as a guest star in the credits. I know, well, he wasn't, like, a main person, so it's always, like, special guest, but, like, very frequent special guest. Yes, Mackenzie wants a Garrick spinoff and a 7 of 9 spinoff. Oh my gosh, the two of them together. Throw in some John Delancey and okay, yes, absolutely. And Seal recommends Renegade Cuts Berman Trek if you haven't seen it yet. Oh no, tell me about that. Furman Wreck. Eli says there's an episode of Pinky and the Brain where they accidentally clone a biological child. Oh, his name is Brinky. The episode is named Brinky. His name's Romy. Of course, he's an artist. Oh, interesting. Courtney Kelly agrees with Mackenzie. Give Seven her own show. That line, are you attempting to comfort the child or traumatize it? A lot of Star Treks. I think a lot of the folks who like Seven of Nine, Seven of Nine did a lot for me that Data did, of just trying to understand humanity and being like, ugh, you humans. I like those characters an awful lot. The early thousands cartoon character Braceface had a canonically gay character named Dion. He's never referred to as gay. In series, there's an episode where the main character tries to find him a boyfriend. Oh. Well, that seems pretty gay. Courtney says, I forgot about Braceface. That show was awesome. I don't think I ever watched that. Braceface was a show for kids. My teenage self loved it. Yeah, I think I was just probably too old for it. Good Guy says, I always wondered why the film version of Ira Levin's Death Trap was much more explicit about Sydney and Clifford's relationship than the play. I think it would be the other way around in 82. Death Trap. So for a second I was thinking Mousetrap, and I was like, wait, whose relationship in Mousetrap? No, Death Trap. Wait, I don't think I know that one. Death Trap. Oh my gosh, Mina, it's so funny that you asked that. Death Trap. Hold on, I'm just writing that down. Okay, Mina. James, somebody just asked me if I'm going to do a video about Tans de Vampire. Oh, indeed. Funny you should mention that. So Tans de Vampire, or Dance of the Vampire, Jim Steinman musical from the early-ish 2000s, jukebox musical collecting a lot of like Jim Steinman songs. So think like Celine Dion and Meatloaf and Bonnie Tyler, really overwrought, really gothic, and not gothic. Yeah, I guess gothic. I'd say gothic. Florid songs. Total Eclipse of the Heart and that kind of thing. So collects a bunch of those songs and puts it into a vampire musical. Amazing. So it was a very serious, very gothic musical in Europe, and then it came to the US, translated into English, and also for some reason translated into a comedy. Totally didn't work as a comedy. Great, serious, straight horror musical. Terrible comedy. Huge flop in the US, but super popular in Europe. Anyway, we've been looking a lot at Tans de Vampire, Dance of the Vampire, because we are doing a whole bunch of live shows with Queens of Adventure, my live drag comedy show and podcast with drag queens playing Dungeons and Dragons. We're doing a whole bunch of live shows in Seattle, Portland, and San Francisco, and some of those live shows are going to be vampire themed. They're coming up in March. You can go to queensofadventure.com for tickets. So we're doing one show in Seattle, 2 shows in Portland, 3 shows in San Francisco. Each one's going to be different, so you can come to one show or 2 or all 3. One of those shows is going to be vampire themed. Queens of Adventure in Blood of the Vampire Queen. We're also doing Queens of Adventure versus the Lizard People. And Queens of Adventure San Francisco edition in San Francisco. So yes, come to those shows for exciting vampire action.
San Francisco will feature RuPaul's
Oh gosh. Yes, San Francisco show features Rock'em Sakura. One of those shows will feature Rock'em Sakura, who's just announced to be in season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race. So we're going to have a RuPaul's Drag Race queen in the show while she's on the show. So, very excited about that. And also, just go follow Rock'em Sakura, because, oh my goodness, she is amazing. We're so glad to have her in the cast. Anyway, so, how did you get me so excited about Dance of the Vampire? It's so good. It's so good. So ridiculous and so good. James Sledge says, I saw Death Trap as a kid and remember being really surprised that Superman would be so into Alfie he was willing to commit murder. Freddie Mercury says, our school play called Cooking Can Be Murder. A school play called Cooking Can Be Murder. Our directors were going to take out a short part where a boy technically gets with another guy, but then everyone made them put it back in. Great. I'm glad that you made that happen. Seal, also excited about Dance of the Vampire. An amazing show. A terrible thing a Broadway attempt to replicate it was. Yeah, Not so good. Courtney says, my ex-husband was obsessed with that show. Turn around. Yes. Yeah. And I mean, you haven't lived until you see a vampire themed version of Total Eclipse of the Heart sung in German, which is really what it was made for. Carpe Noctem especially is glorious. Mina's obsessed with it. Yeah, I mean you can find most of it on YouTube. I think you can find an English subtitled version, or you could just learn German. It's so good. It's so good. So hyped to play Herbert, and then that happens. To see, I feel bad for Ace of Summers. What happened with Ace of Summers? Um, uh, Intends to vampire. When you say the E out loud, different pronunciation, but you still say it. Oh wait, you say the E, wait what? You say vampire? Interesting milkshake. Wait, you say the E out loud? Tans de vampire? Is that how you say it? Let Michael Crawford ruin the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, oh, Michael Crawford. Um, not the, I think he was the right choice, but I think they gave him the wrong material in trying to make it a comedy. I mean, have Michael Crawford just do his full Phantom shtick. Renee, oh boy. Wait, oops, Renee I'm never going to be able to pronounce his name. Renee Aubergenois? Aubergenois would have been 1,000% perfect casting as Ambrosius in the real show. Yeah, who actually did play him? Raphael says, will we be able to hear the shows on YouTube or in the new podcast channel? Lots to say about that, have I. We are going to be doing, a couple things. We're going to be doing a live stream here on my YouTube channel of a Queens of Adventure on March 8th. So mark your calendars for that. Thank you for asking, Raphael. So we haven't announced this yet. So I guess I'm telling you, you're the first to know. But we're going to be doing a Queens of Adventure live stream on March 8th here on YouTube featuring Arseniki, Frey Love, and introducing Bosco, our newest cast member. So you are going to be able to see a live stream version of one of our new Queens of Adventure shows. That's coming up on March 8th. Haven't worked out the time for that, so just mark your calendars. We're going to be announcing that soon. And the new podcast channel, we are launching a new Queens of Adventure podcast called Queens of Adventure Legends. That's going to be coming out also on March 8th. It's going to be available. And that's going to have one-shots and side stories and live shows. And that's all going to live inside Queens of Adventure Legends, a second Queens of Adventure podcast outside, in addition to the main channel, the main podcast story. So you get even more Queens of Adventure on Queens of Adventure Legends. So that's all going to be coming out starting on March 8th. So yeah, and so all the live shows that we can record are going to go into Queens of Adventure Legends, and of course the main storyline is going to continue in Queens of Adventure, the main feed. So that is all coming up. My gosh, there's a lot of stuff happening with Queens of Adventure in March. James Polk says Dance of the Vampire was the last drawing Al Hirschfeld made for a full Broadway musical premiere. Oh my goodness. Well, that's what done him in. Dance of the Vampire is aesthetically much like Phantom of the Opera, a serious, lush, gothic drama with touches of comedy. Dance of the Vampires was like amateurs trying to stage a carry-on movie without actually ever having seen one. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. So my theory, and James's theory, James and I have been talking about this a lot, is that there was a lot of enthusiasm for the producers around that time. And they were like, oh, we got to producers this up, or maybe Spam-A-Lot it up. We got to make the show like a wacky comedy that's like postmodern and commenting on the form, like Urinetown did, I guess. The crow is here, everyone. Sometimes a crow comes to the balcony because I put out peanuts. It's so bad. It just grabbed a peanut from the bucket, and I'm watching it bury a peanut in one of my flower pots. So now I've just got peanuts buried in one of my flower pots. Thank you, Crow. That's very helpful. Anyway, so yeah, I think comparing it to Carry On is pretty apt. Oh, so there's a juvenile crow who's burying the peanut, and a adult crow just arrived. So now we've got two crows just hanging out, burying peanuts in my flower pots. Oh, it's more like Vampira. Okay. Tans de Vampira. So the pronunciation kind of like the English A. Explaining German pronunciation in English is hard. Yeah, it is. Tans de Vampire. Vampira. Vampira? Call him Odo if it's easier. Yeah. It was cast as Ambrosius on Broadway, but oh, so wait, he actually did play Ambrosius. No, he didn't. Really? So I've only been listening to the music. I've been listening to like the recordings, of which there are not many. He's the one with like the wacky German accent? Really? Is that's Odo? Ride of the Valkyries is playing right now, so I want to quickly recommend Anna Russell's monologue about Wagner's Ring Cycle. It's on YouTube. It's hilarious. It's Courtney Kelly. Okay, that sounds great. I did not know that music is still playing. Raphael says, I can't wait. I love your live shows on YouTube. They're always fun. What is the new character Bosco? If you don't mind, would like to draw them. Ooh, yeah. So Bosco is a Shatterkai sorcerer? Is she a sorcerer? What is she?
Fighter.
Fighter.
He'll probably be changing classes soon.
Okay, yeah. So Bosco's a Shatterkai fighter, but we may be changing her class soon. So we're not locking anything in on Bosco at the moment. Bosco's episodes of the podcast will be coming out later in 2020. And so, provided that schedules line up, you'll be seeing Bosco on the 8th. Steve says, can you do a episode about the play Gemini and its film version Happy Birthday Gemini starring Madeline Kahn and Rita Moreno? I don't know anything about that. What is that? The play Gemini and Happy Birthday Gemini. Gemini and Happy Birthday Gemini. I mean, Rita Moreno and Madeline Kahn? Are you kidding me? That sounds fantastic. And Aaron says, what happened to your hand? Who did you slap? Nobody. These are my magic new gloves that Fleece Hills made for me. They're gorgeous and soft and wonderful and lush. They're so good. I love them. I just, like, whenever I put them on, I just like, you've probably been noticing throughout the live stream, I've just been like petting myself because it feels so good. Ooh. Courtney Kelly says, someone else has seen Happy Birthday Gemini. Okay, yeah, I've never heard of it. I like Madeline Kahn in, if we're talking about obscure Madeline Kahn roles, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Younger Brother. Terrible, terrible, terrible movie. Do not recommend. Actually, I don't think Smarter's in the title. I think it's a joke in the movie. The Adventure of Sherlock Holmes' Younger Brother. Something like that. It's Madeline Kahn and Gene Wilder and Marty Feldman and great cast. And I want to say it's got Dom DeLuise as well, I think. Just fantastic cast. Terrible material. But there is one scene, the kangaroo hop, that I do recommend. It's goofy and stupid and short, and it's just dumb fun. There's nothing else really good to say about the movie, sadly, than that. But look up the kangaroo hop on YouTube. It's just so stupid. It's just stupid, is all that it is. Seal says in Dance of the Vampire, apparently, allegedly, Michael Crawford demanded they have an equal number of jokes to the Ambrosius character, despite the fact that Von Krolock isn't supposed to be a comic character, except in sinister double meanings. Oh boy. I mean, I guess I can see how that would ruin stuff. If your straight man is like, but I want jokes too. It's like if you had, oh, it's so cute. This like the little baby crow still like burying peanuts in every flower pot. I wonder if it's like learning that from the adult. I wonder if it saw, because it's like, so the adult crow on the balcony right now is taking like the big peanuts. The juvenile one is taking the smaller ones, and they're both burying them. And I wonder if like it's a parent teaching its kid how to bury food, which is very, very cute. Anyway, gosh. Yeah, it would be like, I don't know. I'm trying to compare that to something like if okay, it'd be like if in My Heart Will Go On, if Celine Dion was like, could we just have something funny in the middle of the song? It's just completely inappropriate. Raphael says, I love crows. Crows are great. I'm very into big birds from a distance. I love, like, I am not a big fan of, like, the little ones. Not a fan of pigeons because they made a real mess of our balcony one year when we were like, ooh, they're nesting. How nice. The miracle of life. Oh, no, they made it disgusting. But it is pleasant to watch. It's like crows are, like, huge. I know a guy here in Seattle who has a vulture, and he's like an animal, like a bird caretaker. So he's got owls, like multiple owls, golden owls, and golden owls or eagle owls. Now I can't remember. Anyway, and a vulture and some hawks and stuff. And I got to like hang out with them at one point and say hello to the birds. Big birds, so cool. But also, what a mess. I don't want to have to deal with them all the time. Courtney says, I watched that when I was working on Madeline's biography. Oh, you did a biography on Madeline Kahn? Ah, wonderful. It's the R that always trips me up in Oh, is it a very German Vampira? So I'm not even going to try to pronounce. Yeah. I can see how, like, in German it would sound really cool. And not possible for me to pronounce. Nina says, crows will bring you gifts if they like you. Keep throwing food out for them. They start finding little random trinkets outside your home. That's what I want. I want the crows to be my friend. I want them to recognize me and want to, like, keep me company when they see me walking down the street. I don't know if it's going to happen. They have not so far brought me anything. They've just, like, left a lot of broken shells, like peanut shells on the balcony. I also, like, hard-boiled an egg and put a hard-boiled egg out there for them at one point, and they like that. But... yeah, so far they have not brought me anything, so I'm like, what's in it for me? Seal says Michael Crawford might have quit Dance of the Vampire in protest at how he's being treated. I mean, gosh, another capricious act by a capricious man. I love your videos, says Freddie Mercury. They are my favorite videos to watch all the time. And are you switching the live streams to Twitch? Haven't decided yet. I'm not sure. I will say, like, there's a lot of different stuff that I put on this channel, and so between this Culture Cruise and Weekly Debrief, they don't all seem to fit together. So I'm going to be thinking more about making some changes to where stuff goes, but no hard decisions about how things are changing yet. But let me know what you would prefer. Like, if you want them to stay here, if you would watch on a separate YouTube channel, if you would watch on Twitch, or just what you would like. Because, I'm interested in your viewing habits. Oh, Courtney Kelly, you've seen it. Hop, hop, come and do the kangaroo hop. Walt, what now I can't remember. How does it go? Blah, blah, blah. If you're over 80, you can waltz a little while, but hopping around the parlor is the very latest. I'll come on and hop, hop, come and do the kangaroo hop. It's cute and stupid, and then you have to watch the rest of the movie. Oh well. Bookworm Idaho is recommending a book, Mercury and Me by Jim Hutton, Freddie Mercury's love interest. This recollection of his and Freddie's relationship in his final years. Whoa, that sounds great. What's it called? Mercury and Me. What a great title. I know a guy who claims to have been one of Freddie Mercury's lovers, and he has this beautiful story about waking up in the 80s, early 80s, one morning in Freddie Mercury's apartment and hearing piano music, and he and Freddie Mercury were just, the previous night they were intimate, and then they fell asleep together in bed, and they woke up, and Freddie Mercury is just, like, playing the piano as the light is coming through a skylight on them. It's a gorgeous story. I don't know if it's true. I want to believe it is, because it's just a beautiful story. But it's also too good. Like, can that really be a thing that actually happened, or is just a nice thing to imagine? I don't know. But Jim Hutton's recollections probably have a little bit more authority. Brianna says, that's literally the first Gene Wilder movie I've ever seen. When I was living overseas, I turned on randomly at 2:30 a.m. Oh gosh, I didn't know what it was, but I was entranced. It's so weird. It's such a weird film. And of course, Madeline's wonderful, and Marty Feldman and everybody. It's just not good. Is the thing. It's just not. It doesn't make sense. It's not funny. It's not a good time to watch. Ugh. Oh, Courtney says Gene wrote it just to hang out with Dom DeLuise and Madeline and Marty. They're all really close. Okay, I do not begrudge him that. I am proud of him for finding a way to scam just a bunch of hanging out with his friends. Good for him. Aaron Thor, yes, Matt likes Madeline Kahn. All these men always coming and going and going and coming. It is really good. And always too soon. Oh, it is The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother. Okay. I couldn't remember exactly what the title is. Seal says they cast Michael Crawford on the understanding to basically bring fandomness to the show, and he said, great, now to break away from my typecasting and do something completely different. Oh, Michael. Oh, Michael. I say as though we're on a first-name basis. Much like Elton John, at least is my theory, when asked to write Lestat. Oh, did Michael... Wait, did Elton John write a Lestat musical? That's amazing. Overlord Chaos says, oh, hello, you're quite gorgeous. Thank you, I know. It's the gloves. Mercury Me gives a look into Freddy's relationships, both private and platonic, the complications with his fame, and their relationship before and during Freddy's AIDS diagnosis. Seal says, oh, Crawford didn't quit. Odo might have. I don't remember for sure, but if he did, it was because of the stroppy diva he was being expected to work with. Yeah. Raphael says, I prefer YouTube, but that's just me. Good to know. I appreciate knowing that. Yeah, do tell me, like, where you like to watch these live streams, when, because, I've been doing it at 10 a.m. Pacific for a while, but, that is maybe early in the day for some people, or too late in the day if you're overseas or whatever. Like, let me know what day and what time you'd prefer to see live streams. Nina says, I'm going to dip out for the day and run some errands. Very nice to meet you all. Looking forward to more stuff from you, Matt. Have a lovely weekend all. Goodbye, Nina. And don't forget to set your calendars for March 8th. We're going to be doing a live stream adventure with Arson and Freya and Bosco, hopefully. It's going to be a big drag queens playing Dungeons and Dragons adventure. So tune in here for a live stream of that. I'm very excited. Cannot wait for that. We're writing the adventure now, and I think it's going to be really, really, really good. Yeah, so it's just a big queer comedy storytelling game of me running an adventure and the drag queens improvising their way through it. They have no idea what's coming. I have no idea what they're going to do. Mina says, I prefer YouTube. Ellie says, I prefer YouTube too. Okay, these are useful data points for me. And Courtney says, the biography is called Madeline Kahn, Being the Music, A Life. The author is William V. Madison. I'm in the acknowledgements as primary research assistant under my dead name. Oh, okay. That is great. I'm sorry it's under your dead name. But that must have been fascinating work, Courtney. Matt, he'd probably really like to guest on your podcast. The book is great and Bill is an absolute delight. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Wait, what's his name? William V. Madison. I will look him up. Madison for viewers. Okay. Seal says, definitely YouTube. I'm not familiar with Twitch, so I would say that. Okay, that's good to know. Freddie says, I like YouTube. Easier to manage this time is fine. YouTube for me, says Courtney. 9 a.m. Pacific, stay on YouTube. Saturdays work, says Norman. So, yeah, gosh, people really mixed on which one they prefer. Madeline Kahn was one of the first people I had a crush on, says Mackenzie. Wow. I mean, also reasonable. There has never been a role that she's been bad in. From her very first, what's the Streisand movie she's in? What's Up, Doc? I mean, she's fantastic in that. She's in, what's the Sondheim, pardon me, is everybody there? Because if everybody's there, I'd like to thank you all for coming to the wedding and appreciate you going even more. Oh, what is that one? It's, not Follies. James, what's that Sondheim musical? What's her name? With Neil Patrick Harris. It's not Sundays in the Park with George. Anyway, she's in that, and she's great. Wiley Kit says, Drag D&D, I love it. Yes, please. Oh, well, then you will love Queens of Adventure. Check it out, queensofadventure.com. We haven't done the announcement for the live stream yet, but it is going to be on March 8th. Pandora Tackett says, hi, still handsome. Well, thank you very much. Joshua Lorino says, top, bottom, Madden's an adventure, and a threat. Sure I am. Ellie says, this time works perfectly for Europeans. Friday evenings are a great time slot. Wait, it's not Friday evening for you, is it? No, right? No, it's Saturday evening. It's Saturday evening. Ellie, it's Saturday. Mr. T prefers YouTube. Courtney says he's New York City based, but he loves to travel. Wait, who is Courtney? Oh, the researcher? James Sledge votes for YouTube. Yeah, Courtney. Howard Bannister. Oh, God, it's so good. Company. That's the one. Why couldn't I remember that? Company. Courtney says, my favorite musical. Gosh. It's a complicated musical. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's good. It's got some great numbers. And of course, Ladies Who Lunch is magnificent. I just watched a version with Patti LuPone. It's the televised one, or I don't know if it was televised, but the broadcasted one with Patti LuPone and Neil Patrick Harris and Stephen Colbert and a whole bunch of other people. At the end of Ladies Who Lunch, she's holding this cocktail the whole time. And at the very end, she like tosses it. She doesn't toss the drink, but she like splashes the drink out into the audience. And you see like the flinch of the first few rows of people who are just like sprayed with Patti LuPone's cocktail, which is amazing. And then the audience is applauding, and she looks down at her at her song. She looks down at her drink as the audience is like uproariously applauding for her. And she has this like, kind of like take at her drink, realizing that she's flung her drink away and now she needs a new drink. And it's just such a great moment for that character. I don't know. I'm going out on a limb here. Hot take. Patti LuPone is really talented. Mina says the Presidential Assassins musical, Assassins. That one also good. That's a Sondheim one, right? Yeah. A friend of mine was in that maybe like 2-ish years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. It was during the election, so timely. Which I guess would have been 4 years ago, wouldn't it? Anyway, Assassins, very good. Also, hard to come out of feeling great about. It's not one of those toe tap and what a great time at the theater kind of musicals. It's kind of like, oh, what is the meaning of our democracy? Help. Raphael likes Company. Yeah, Ellie Saturday. You really turned me around, Ellie, because I was like, oh no, am I on the wrong day? Fleecil said, oh, did you hear anything back about the trans women winning amateur worlds? I have not dug too deep into that yet, Fleecil. There's a bit of a scandal involving, it was disc golf, right? Am I remembering that correctly? So I need to do a little more digging on that. Another one of those like, oh, should trans people be allowed to play sports kind of scandals. So I want to make sure that's getting properly covered. Courtney says, I got the absolute pleasure of playing Marta a couple years ago and getting to sing Another 100 People. Just the best song. Everything is so hard in that musical. Everything is hard to sing in Company. Sam Ald is just popping in. Hi, guys. Sorry I missed last week. Only just made it. Oh, Courtney Kelly. Yes. Larry, I would like a cigarette. Oh, she's so good. Pandora says, I love watching your videos. Keeps me updated and very professional and thought out. You're better and more interesting than regular news people. They should learn from you. I think they should. Yes, tell your news people to learn from me. GL says, I prefer YouTube, but if you go to Twitch, I'll make the switch. Raphael says, Patti LuPone, one of the greats. I love her. Yeah, I'm very into Patti as Yellow Diamond on Steven Universe. Just amazing there as well. But I mean, obviously, Patti LuPone, great. Like Madeline Kahn, great in everything she touches. Patty's a trip. She's a major get for the Broadway transfer. Just don't bring your phone. Oh, God, yeah, don't bring your phone. Patty's currently in Company on Broadway. She's doing Ladies' Lunch 8 shows a week with a female Bobby. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Ingy Bingy says, who's going to win tonight between Wilder and Fury? Boy, oh boy, I am not the person to ask that question to. I have no idea what that is or who they are. Stritch still does my favorite ladies to lunch, is Courtney Kelly. I think that's, I mean, okay, who's the best ladies who lunch? Yeah, Elaine Stritch. I mean, Patti LuPone is great, of course. Of course, she's great. Stop yelling at me. But no, that one where she does like, she's got like the hand. Elaine has like the, and she's so like caustic and sarcastic. Oh gosh, and of course, like the documentary where they recorded Elaine recording Ladies Who Lunch. Wow, it's spellbinding. When she's like listening to herself, she's listening to the playback and she's listening to how she's singing it and she's getting mad at how she's not doing it right. She's like, wrong. It's so great. Courtney says, Madeline auditioned for Company 8 times, but Hal Prince hated her on sight. What is wrong with him? Oh, no. Seal says, tangentially, Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown was a musical that was about 90% there. I didn't know that. They turned that into a musical? Gosh. Great music, just a shame they couldn't make the plot work. Well, yeah, that's that's important. And it's why you bring it. They should have brought in Harvey Fierstein. He did book for a lot of stuff that worked out great. Bringing it back to Harvey. Yeah, so in case you missed the beginning, I'm doing a culture cruise involving Harvey Fierstein coming up hopefully next week. The video is going to come out. Just working on the script now. Gosh, oh, he's so good. That I'm just doing like research into Harvey Fierstein, some of his roles and some of his work. I watched a interview with him from 1982 that Barbara Walters did, where she sits down with him and she's like, what is it like to be a homosexual? It's such a question. It's just like absurd to hear her say that. And he's a little like dumbstruck for a moment where he's like, the fuck do you mean? But then, he comes back and he's got a good answer. Gosh, it's, anyway, what's your favorite Harvey Fierstein role? The connection being, Patti LuPone. Have a listen to Invisible. Invisible was in Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. I mean, if ever there was going to be a woman on the verge of a nervous breakdown, I want to see it be Patti LuPone. Steve B says, that explained Prince's total unprofessional behavior towards Khan while doing On the 20th Century. He treated LuPone like crap, too. I didn't know that. That's so frustrating. Courtney says she was in On the 20th Century in 78. He hated her, treated her like garbage until she broke down and literally couldn't do the show anymore. That's rotten. Oh, I'm very unhappy to hear that. Well, I'm going to write an angry letter to Hal Prince about that. Then told everyone she was on cocaine, which she never was. Oh my God. Oh, well. Hal Prince, is he still alive? No, just died last year. Well, finally. Gosh, what a rotten thing to do to our precious, wonderful Madeline Kahn. America's sweetheart. National treasure, Madeline Kahn. I'm quite angry about that. What a rotten way to treat her. Pandora says, I love Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella because it's beautiful, diverse, and fabulous. Oh, yes, gosh. I mean, the version from the 90s with Brandy. Just like, what a work of art. Harvey Fierstein did some great stuff for Funny Girl. Just a shame nothing could be done about the central problem that the whole show is basically an exercise in reputation whitewashing for Nick Arnstein. Ooh, Brianna says, is Women on the Verge your favorite Almodovar film? It might be. It's been a long time since I've seen any of his films. Yeah, actually, it's been a long time since I've seen a Pedro Almodovar film. I want to say, like, I definitely watched some when we were in San Francisco, but that would have been almost 10 years ago. So maybe time to go back and check it out because tastes change. And I definitely like movies that I liked when I was, just coming out of college are not movies that I love anymore. Courtney says, seriously, read the book. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Wait, hold on. The Madeline Kahn biography. Wait, hold on. I'm scrolling back up. Courtney, just looking. Tell me the name of that book again. Madeline Kahn, Being the Music of Life. All right, writing that down. Madeline Kahn, Being the Music of Life. Whew, what a title. Yes. Hal Prince was one of the biggest bullies in show business, Steve B. Oof. Oh, I didn't know that about him. That is unfortunate. But a lot of enthusiasm. Oh, Leslie Ann Warren. Wait, did Leslie Ann Warren do Ladies Who Lunch? That's amazing. Wait, Leslie Ann Warren, Ladies Who Lunch. Wanted to autocomplete Ladies Who Lie. No, she might have been in Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. Is that what we're talking about? Anyway, just in general, I'm in favor of Leslie Ann Warren. There we go. I think I'm gonna wrap it up in just a bit. We've been going for about an hour and a half. Always lovely to chat with you all. And very good to hear about everyone preferring YouTube as the venue for these live streams. So let's see. Gosh, what have I got to talk about as we wrap this up? Check out, of course, my most recent culture cruise about Cheers, and keep your eyes open. I think this coming week is when I'm going to post the next culture cruise. So I'm just working on the script for that now. If you like my live streams, check out March 8th. We're doing a live stream, Queens of Adventure, featuring drag queens playing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm going to be leading Arseniki, Freya Love, and Bosco through a new adventure that they have not seen before. Oh, Mackenzie, thank you for the tip. Yay! Cool. Oh, I love the sticker that comes with. Cool. It's a cool pair. So check that out on March 8th, a live stream Dungeons & Dragons adventure. They have no idea what I'm going to throw at them. I have no idea how they're going to respond to me. We're going to do like some goofy jokes, some strange fantasy quests, and it's going to be a real hoot. We've done these a couple times before, and they've always been really, really, really fun. So join us for that on March 8th. And then we've got live shows coming up in Seattle, Portland, and San Francisco. Tickets are now on sale over at queensofadventure.com. The Seattle shows are on March 12th at Rebar, and then we're doing another one at Emerald City Comic Con. Then in Portland, we're doing 2 shows on the 18th and 19th at the Siren Theater. And then in San Francisco, we are doing a show on the 25th and 29th at Oasis. The show on the 25th is going to have Rock'em Sakura, who's just announced for RuPaul's Drag Race. We're super excited about that. And the Queens of Adventure live shows are always just a real hoot. It's a big queer comedy adventure with drag queens improvising their way through a fantasy quest. It is just so much fun. There's lip syncs and surprise stunts and fantasy and adventure and twists and turns and drink specials and everything that you would want from a D&D drag show. So I hope you can all join us for that. So tickets are on sale at queensofadventure.com. If you can't make it, tell your friends. Hope to see you there. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to mention, at the live shows, we are going to be selling these beautiful t-shirts. Check this out. Oh my goodness. These were designed by Cody Shipman here in San Francisco. They're just beautiful. It's to see that roll with a nice pink triangle and the D20. So we've got them in black and we've got them in pink. There they are, pink and black. Ta-da! Can I put them on my body like this? There we have it, sort of. Kind of. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to have those for sale at the live show. They are printed here in Seattle by a locally owned small business, Ink Knife Press. They're printed on, it's a very soft and cozy fabric. It feels so good. These are like cozy, sleep in them, do everything in them, super soft fabric shirts. It's water-based ink, so the printing feels really nice. They're certified sweatshop free, so everything is great about these shirts. Come to our live show and get one for you and your friends, or get all of them, buy all of them. We've got 100 of these shirts, and so when they run out, they'll be out, and we might have to do another run depending on how popular they are. Let's see. Courtney says, I wish I could see the live shows. I'm on the East Coast. Well, hopefully, we'd love to do some East Coast shows. We'll see in the future if we can make it out there. Would love to come to Boston, New York, and I don't know, Provincetown. Wish you could see the live shows. I'm on the East Coast. Plus, we're racing now. You know Rock'em Sakura. I know Brita Filter and Jan Sport. Oh, yes, of course. All the different drag forces all coming together. James Sledge says, you remain delightful. Thank you for your work. Oh, thank you for watching. Yay. Violent Smoker says, it's a long way to Seattle, but I'm tempted. Those t-shirts are dope. Courtney Kelly says, I want a shirt. Well, we may be selling, depending on how they do at the live show, we may be selling them online after the live shows at queensofadventure.com. So keep an eye on Queens of Adventure Twitter on Twitter for announcements about like shirt availability in the future. So we're so excited to have those for you all to get and look cute wearing. So I think that's just about going to do it for this live stream. Join us on March 8th for the next one. That's going to be on a Sunday. Have not worked out the time yet, but we should have that announced very soon. Yeah, we'll have some D&D fun together next time we all hang out. So, that's going to do it. Thanks again to everybody for watching. Thank you for the tips on the chat, Mackenzie. Really appreciate that. Thanks for watching my Culture Cruises. Thanks for listening to Sewers of Paris over at sewersofparis.com. And I'll see you in the future. And now let's see if I can end the stream properly.